Hi, I'm Ben Frail. I'm the chairman of the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War Promotions and Marketing Committee, and I'm here with Brother Brian Pierson, past Commander-in-Chief. Brother Brian, thanks for coming.
Yeah, my pleasure, Ben.
So, get things started. When did you serve as Commander-in-Chief of the Sons of Union Veterans?
Yeah, I served in 2020 to 2021, right in the midst of the COVID pandemic.
Yep.
So it was an interesting time.
Yeah, and let's get right into it. What was your proudest achievement as Commander-in-Chief during that tough time?
During that time, of course, there was a lot of civil unrest in the country, and we were challenged on how do we protect and preserve our history. There were monuments to abolitionists being torn down, right, which was incredible. And one of the things I had the honor to do was to write the general order on updating our monument protection policy that broadened the protection to all U.S. Historical monuments, not just narrowly focused on those in the Civil War. It's intentionally broadly written so that allows us the flexibility to act as each individual situation dictates, and doesn't tie our hands with anything and all that. So that one, I think, has really had some good effect over the past few years on that.
Awesome, that's great. Let me, as we've mentioned a couple of times in previous interviews with PCNCs, in order to be Commander-in-Chief, you have to be a lineal member of the Sons. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about your ancestor.
Yeah, I have a number of Civil War ancestors, half of which didn't survive the war. My great-great-uncle Alanson Pierson died at the Battle of South Mountain. He was with the 14th Brooklyn, the Red-Legged Devils. My great-great-grandfather, John Stylen, was a German immigrant to Wisconsin who was drafted and then joined the 1st Wisconsin Cavalry. And he fought in the Western Theater in Missouri and then down into Tennessee and all that. After the war, he went home, started a farm, married a girl, started a family, which is why I'm here. And he was also a proud member of the Grand Army of the Republic in the New London post they had up there. So, it's to me, it's kind of humbling to when I get up to Wisconsin to go visit his grave up there and say hi, as it were.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's something that I haven't had the opportunity to do yet, is go see my ancestors' grave, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I can definitely see how that would be an amazing experience. Why don't you, if you were to find someone on the street who asked about the Sons, what would you tell them is a great reason why they should join?
Sure. Having done 28 years in the Air Force and been in a number of campaigns and wars, I take a long historical look at all the wars that we have fought on this continent, from the colonial wars to the wars that we fought for our independence and then for afterwards. And I think there are two wars that are fundamental to American identity and existence. One is the Revolution, which gave us our freedom. And then the second one is the Civil War, which made us what we are today as a country. It corrected, it spawned a couple or three very important amendments to the Constitution, which corrected some of the imperfections of the first part of the Constitution. But there's no other war, no other conflict we have fought that arouses the passions of Americans like the Civil War does, even to this day, right? There's still one real son of a Civil War veteran alive. We're a single generation away from the generation that fought the most horrible and greatest war in our country's history. Shelby Foote, the historian, said, before the Civil War, it was common to refer to the United States and the plural. The United States are. After the Civil War, the United States is. So if I was to ask somebody, or someone asked me why they should join, I would explain to them there's this proud heritage. This war is still the repercussions of it are still being felt today as we go through the problems that we're trying to deal with in our country today, as every generation has its own issues to go through. When we look back on the Civil War, that's the genesis of it all. And we honor our heritage, we honor our history, we honor the values that those men fought and died for. We look to our congressional charter, which dictates and tells us to teach good citizenship, to teach the true history of the Civil War, to teach American values. There's any number of heritage organizations to which I could belong, but the one I'm most proud of is the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, just because of the impact of that war and the challenges it gave us, and things that we still have to work to overcome and continue to make America a great nation.
That's amazing.
It is many lineal organizations look inwards, right? There are very few of them that look outwards, and the SUVCW looks outwards. How do we make America better?
And that's great. That's something that I know that every brother that I've come across has always thought, how can, not only just America, how can I make my community better, my town, my state? So that's definitely a sentiment that, I can't echo enough. Last question I've got for you, BP, is whether it was your time as Commander-in-Chief, before or after, what is your fondest memory of being a member of the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War?
The memory I cherish the most has to do with my son, my youngest son, Noah, who became a brother of the Sons of Union Veterans at Fort Sumter on the 150th anniversary of Fort Sumter. He's the only brother in our order who can claim that honor. And being there, it was an honor being there for that memorial ceremony, but it was even more of an honor to watch him get sworn in by a couple of other brothers who I greatly respect and love. That's it. It was a singular experience.
BP, thank you for hopping on with us today.
Yeah,
Appreciate
my pleasure.
It.
Great, Ben. Great seeing you, Brother Ben.
Good
and
seeing
take care.
you
Have
too.
a great day.
You too.